Hey, okay, today is March 25th and it's 8:20 Eastern Standard Time. I do I have trouble making videos like this. So and generally all my videos I do not script them in any way. It's like what's on my mind today. And I'm looking at there's no way that we can fix what's going on. So we have this, I guess I'm going to just start with the Palestinian problem. And I'm not a fan of Islam either, and I'm going to explain that. But what Israel is doing is setting a precedence. This precedence makes it okay to kill civilians without any cause, just because you're a psychopath and you believe something. So, as far as Jewish people are concerned, and I have a lot of Jewish friends, you have a very good percentage of Jews who believe that, well, most of them believe they're the chosen people. The problem is with that is that they have no lineage to that land as indigenous people. So what they did was they picked up an ideology in Europe or wherever, Eastern Europe, mostly like around Ukraine, Russian area, and they identify as a race. They're not a race. Their DNA proves it. The Palestinians are more Semite than they are. 97% of the Jewish people who live in Israel are Eastern European DNA. They have zero Semite blood in their DNA. They're not. It's an ideology that from when they were brought into this world that they were taught by their parents and their rabbis and their fake books of the Talmud, which just has all Christian hate in it, even though they tell you it doesn't, or, oh, that's a poor interpretation. Those are lies. Those are all lies. They know exactly what it says, and I've had them tell me. I've spoken with a lot of Jewish people. I've probably spent more time with Jewish people than most of all of the United States. But, I spent a lot of time with Jewish people through my high school years and in my years in business. I spent a lot of time with Jewish people, and I had friends who say, "Oh, you got to wait outside, Tony." When I was a kid, because you're not, you're a Gentile. We can't have Gentiles in our house, and Jewish girls who could not date Gentile guys. So very racist people. It's an ideology. It's a religion that was created in Khazaria, which caused them a lot of problems. And they picked up a lot of Babylonian Baal worship. And that's stuff I don't really want to talk about, which is a little bad. Very disturbing. But you can just do searches on Google. You don't need me. What do Jewish people think about Christians? What does the Talmud say about Christians? And Google is what, is pretty much cleaned up where you can't really, find real information. Jewish people are not going to admit it. They're forbidden to. So that's the Jewish problem. Islam, it's like they're the other side of the same coin of Judaism. Islam has a percentage of people, just like Judaism, that believe in killing everyone who doesn't join their faith. So Jewish people believe, by the way, that each one will receive 2,800 slaves when they build the third temple and their Messiah comes and he rules the world and we kill everybody off. Well, they're making that happen. They're part of what's making it happen. So if you were the rich elite, a very wealthy group of people who, let's say the 13 families or whatever they want to call it, these people who think they know what's best for the world and how to have the world for themselves because now they already have everything else. I would find a group of people who was small enough and that I could control their religion and teach them to be psychopaths. Because believing you can kill any other human with no remorse and that they're less than you and that they're an animal Takes MK Ultra programming from the very beginning, from birth. And as they grow, and then they will teach their children the same thing, and their children, and their children, and their children. And no matter how many countries or people get up against them, they will say, we're the victim. We're supposed to kill everybody. They don't know we're God's chosen people. They haven't done anything except for break all of the 10 commandments that God gave Moses since I've been alive. Now, they threaten the world with the Samson option, which is that if they're losing a war, that they will nuke everyone with the nukes they stole from the U.S., that they say they don't have or really do have or don't have. And I mean, that's their threat. They have a Samson option. That means they have the nukes to destroy the world. In the meantime, they're wiping out the Palestinians, and they're building the greater Israel, which is going to include Iran, Iraq, and all these other countries. Yes, MK Ultra is very real, Drea. Thank you. I do not understand why they really can't come around to believing that maybe my rabbi in the Talmud's wrong, but they can't. I guess that's the same way Christians can't look at any errors in the Christian Bibles, so maybe 150 different versions that are out there. The rich elite have very successfully divided the whole world, and I'm puzzled because I don't understand how people can't see this. Like Islam, so say 10% or 15% of radical Islam is are the ones who believe they cut off your head if you don't believe what's written in the Quran. Okay, and and a lot of it's a kind of a history story, but it clearly says that stuff. So I'll give you an example. If you had 20 kids in a room, and you had 2 of whom were psychopathic, maniac kind of kids, like very aggressive and wanted to hurt other children, and you put 10, 20 toys in the room, one for each kid, I guarantee you after a couple hours, those 2 maniacs, the bad kids, the ones who want to hurt other people who have something wrong, they will be controlling everyone, because normal people don't act like that. They don't want to kill anybody. They want to live their lives and have a family and be happy. But this MK Ultra stuff definitely drives people insane, is how I would say it. So Islam has that problem. So here we're faced with trying to stop a genocide in Gaza, but we're also trying to stop the rape gangs of the Islamics and the crazy Islamics. And it is true that only God can let you know the truth. But if you're searching in the wrong place for God and you're not looking at love and peace, that's why, Christianity is the most correct faith, because it teaches to love one another. It doesn't matter who you are. You should love one another. That's Jesus's main message, really. And he kind of shows it by going around healing people and never doing anything wrong to anyone. And I take misquotes out. Oh, he said he came with the sword. He came with the sword of his mouth, speaking the truth. He's trying to tell you and show you. And that's why I like Christianity. And I was born into Christianity. I'm 96% Italian DNA. Does that mean I can go to Italy, and I have the DNA, and tell somebody to get out of that house in the Naples area where I have a lot of bloodline from, and I deserve a piece of land here. You get out and give me your land. You would think I was a nut. If an American Indian came up to your door and said, get out or I'm going to shoot you, this is my land, and you refused to get out and he shot you, is he right? This is their land. We took it in colonialism. And by the way, England is the country that's behind all of these things all the time. Who do you think divided the Middle East up into 22 countries? Division, so they could steal their resources. And the Rothschilds, the root of all evil is the love of money. Where did the Where did the Rothschilds? They took over the Kingdom of London with the Napoleonic Wars. They created the fiat money system. They took over our central, but they killed the Lincoln when he was printing the greenbacks. No, and they killed Kennedy, and it's the same people. I hate to say it, it's the rich elite families that control the Jewish people. So these rich elites promoted the Talmud, offered the Jewish people free transportation and everything. So go back to Albert Pike. And as much as I look at this and I tell people, no, go to Albert Pike in 1871. He invoked a demon, and there is a spiritual world here. If people are not realizing that there is, why would the rich elites be doing all those rituals that they're doing? And they're controlling the world. There must be something to it. Or you have movie stars telling you that's my alter ego. They're talking about their possession of a demon. Johnny Depp, Beyonce. I could go down the line. This Albert Pike thing invoked a demon and told him 3 world wars. And he said to get the Jewish people and the Islamic people to kill each other off. They had one problem. That was the Ottoman Empire. And there were really no Jews in the Middle East then. They were all up in the Khazarian Jews. They were up there in Ukraine, in Russia. That's where they were. So they got this scheme in 1873 with Theodore Herschel and the Rothschilds, and they started shipping Jews over for free into Israel, giving them free land. The Middle East had a lot of open land then, and then by the time we get to the 1920s or so, they got 50, 60, 70,000 Jews. In 1873, there was 1,300 Jewish families, 1,300 Jews in the whole 22 countries, all of the Ottoman Empire. So then they kind of squeezed them over into Gaza. So you notice that most of them are into the western part of Israel. I had to think for a second, because we're on the other side of the world, along the shorelines. So they were dropping them in the ships, and they were setting little settlements up. That wasn't so much of a problem, except for the Balfour Agreement, which came around in 1918, when they started poisoning wells and taking over Palestinian villages, little by little, some fighting going on, until 1948, when they just went all out massacring everyone, and this is our land. Where did you get that from? You got that from Theodore Herschel and Rothschilds. It's not in Talmud. It's not in the Talmud to build the third temple. It's not in the Bible to build the third temple. There's nothing about building the third temple. All that's in the Bible, the Torah, is that you were thrown out of the land for being disobedient, not following the 10 Commandments. Seems you haven't learned your lesson because you're still not following the 10 Commandments. So if you look to Albert Pike and you look at all the Arabs that are surrounding you and that you're murdering all of these and genociding these people, and now you're going to go to Syria and to Lebanon, and you think you're going to have America in Iran, I think you might have a little problem with that. But if you accomplish that, you're still going to lose. You're going to kill each other off. You're not understanding that? So you finally have your 6 million number, which is a satanic number for you to get all the Jews killed. I mean, you lied about the 6 million in Germany. You lied about the 6 million in Ukraine. You lied about the 6 million in Russia. I mean, that's similar. And now I'm going to address Iran a little bit as a problem. Islam as a problem. Islam will not stop. They will, in England and in Western Europe, they will continually try to turn everyone Islamic. And in America, we will have the same problem. We have Americans sticking up for Islam. We have Americans sticking up for the Jews. We have Americans against the Jews. We have the blacks against the whites. We have everything going on. We have the same problem. This is all by design of the devil, of evil people, where no one's looking at each other and going, you just have a different culture than me. And that's all it is. It's not racism. It's different cultures. So if you look at somebody and you meet them and you don't understand why they're doing whatever, That's their culture. The problem comes in when your culture or your religion is teaching you to kill. And there's two religions that do that in the world, only two. That's Islam and Judaism. Well, through the Talmud. So really Zionism. This is not actually Judaism. That's not, the original Judaism was not like that. So now we're confronted with that. Now, on top of all of these stupid civil unrest problems and these wars that they're trying to push us into World War III, Trump, he made a big mistake clowning around with that little game with Zelensky, which was an all planned out thing that was to force Russia's hand. And you're going to see English troops and German troops and French troops. They're already there, but you're going to see a little false flag and the war escalate. They're not going to stop. They want to depopulate us. Oh, wait. Now it's come out all about the vaccine. So now we can just change subjects a little bit because that's why we're screwed. Because we might be able to stop the wars if we protested enough and stood up enough and exposed enough people. But now we got another problem besides the civil unrest. That's another problem, right? So there's two problems. Now we got another problem with them spraying stuff in the sky. That's it. The vaccines, and we find out, because I skip around a little bit, they were developed by the Department of Defense. It's a countermeasure. It's to kill people slowly. It was developed exactly for that. And they're still promoting it, even though that information is out there. And you see people dropping and kids falling down on a soccer field or the football. Like, never saw that before. All over the world now, the excess death rates are 40% higher. And on top of everything else, they're lying about the population. And I'm just going to do one thing real quick at the population. China had, say, 900 million people in 1979. They had a one-child policy in effect. That means, and there was only, even if it was 500 million that were in childbearing ages, that's 250 million people, making 125 million children. They were destroying most of the women children, so set girl babies. So they have, right now they have a problem like 75% male and 25% female in a generation. So in those 43 years, they're trying to buffalo us into believing that China went from 900 million with one child policy in 45 years, to 1.5 billion. Come on. I don't know. I can do a little bit of math. I'm not a mathematical genius, but that's impossible. The West has been under around two children per woman since the 1950s. And it's down to one now, and since the 1990s. I mean, there's no way we doubled the population. The only way that you don't notice in the Western world is immigration. But immigration has more than one purpose. People always say it's just for votes. No, because there are Trojan horses in there where there are terrorist cells. Because all of this is for the civil unrest that's coming. Oh, wait. Also to bring disease in and blame it on them. Also to bring more crime in. I mean, Biden paid Venezuelans, the president, to send him our prisoners. His prisoners, rather, to here. Said it backwards. I get a little emotional and tongue-tied. I do not see a solution to this except for praying. And I've been praying daily. There is no way that they can stop World War III. There is no way they can stop the civil unrest that's coming. There are no way to stop the Zionist Jews in Israel from genociding everyone and from all the Jews celebrating. Because guess what they get? More free shit, more free land, more free everything. No usury, no nothing. Only we get usury. So the rich elite con the Jews into believing the Zionist writings that, and by giving them no interest on loans, free housing, free land, and the ticket to kill anybody they want and not have any repercussions or steal with no guilt whatsoever. That's pretty hard to accomplish with MK Ultra, but they did. Anyway, I'm going to say that without making this more than 20 minutes long, because a lot of people ain't going to watch this, there is no way out. There is nowhere to hide. They're spraying chemicals on you. You're poisoning you. If you don't think heavy metals are coming down from the sky, there's something wrong with you. And if you don't think they're accumulative to the human body, there's something wrong with you, because they love using heavy metals. Why do they have the heavy metals in all the vaccines for the babies? And then we have this 1 in 35 boys are autistic since 1989. Gee, is that exactly when they implemented like 80 vaccines for a kid? For a baby, a newborn with just developing their immune system, filling them with heavy metals that actually interact with each other. Mercury and aluminum, yeah. Go look at the interaction between those two metals in nanoform and when they're injecting them into children. And what do you think it's doing to them? And the vaccines. And no one can believe anyone. Everyone's off. Everyone's got a different opinion. I had a friend just the other day got mad about something because we're all divided and we all have different views. And when someone rattles your cage a little bit, you go crazy on them. You don't want to sit back and look at the reality of the world, at what's going on. It doesn't matter who's a General Flynn traitor or who's this or who's that, if Q is real or Q is fake. It's all a narrative to direct you around. You're being led like cattle to the slaughter. You're paying attention to all the wrong things. You're not looking at the big picture. There's a big picture. Look at all the things they got going on, and you think no one's in control of that? I can tell you how to stop Israel. We're going to arrest all the Jews in America if you don't stop. We're going to take all their stuff. I'll bet you like that. Bang. Israel stops. Stop sending them money for weapons. Boom. Stop. Just like that. They'll stop and learn to be good little humans and realize that they're no different than anyone else. But no, you won't do that. Well, that would be racist. We can't do that's against our Constitution. But everything else you do against the Constitution is okay. Bringing in murderers and rapists and thieves and open borders. That's okay. Oh, no, we need open borders. We're good people. We want everybody to come in. Oh, wait, except for your collapse of society. That doesn't work. I don't know what's wrong with people. They're hitting us from so many different, and they poison our food. Oh, gee, I even left that out. They spray your food with poisons. They fill it. You got that nut Bill Gates making fake meat and telling us, and that Charles Schwab guy telling us we're going to eat insects. Yeah. You know what you do with Charles Schwab? You put him in jail and you feed him insects. Maybe he'll change his tune. That may make him happy. No one does anything. And we sit there, you want to protest? They're just going to get the cops to beat the hell out of you and spray you with mace and shoot you with rubber bullets because they don't want to lose their pension. I'm just doing my job. Which is a little different than the Jews. Well, they don't want to lose their shit either. But, oh, no, God told us to do it. Or Islamic God says we could do that. Where are you people crazy? God never said, did God talk to you? No. You're listening, some nut taught you that. And you believed it in your brain because there's something wrong with your brain. God did not tell you to go around and kill anybody. God did not tell you to steal anybody's stuff. He gave you 10 commandments. You can't follow 10 things? Honestly, just the 10. I mean, there's more to it, but you can't follow 10 things. Don't murder, don't steal. The simple things. Love God, love. Nope, not people. They want to kill each other. That's their whole thing. No, I'm going to take. You know how many times I've been robbed in my life trying to be good, trying to teach people? Nope, people don't want to be good. They don't want to. They just want things. What are you going to do with all those things? Taking them with you? Life is a gift. Abortion is to do with birth control. Now, the vaccine sterilized your little girls. So if you vaccinate your little girls, there's a good chance they'll never have any babies. And they're looking at passing a law now by, was it 2028 or 2029? I think Bill Gates said it. So it's somewhere, I don't know if it's 100% true, but they want to control who has a baby. That's craziness. They destroyed the nuclear family. Now they want to tell you can't have babies if they don't want you to. Oh, we're going to make sure that your babies are genetically right. Yeah. Okay. They're going to implant a chip in the brain so they can make your baby a robot, or any babies, or your DNA. Doesn't even matter. They'll take the DNA from a database and change things around. Anyway, I gave enough of my rant tonight. I probably lost a lot of anybody who came in to really see me. I love everybody, but if somebody has an answer to what's going on, yeah, I'd like to hear how we stop this. And I don't know what Trump's love for Israel is and why he's turning his back on that. And people I respect on the internet who are influencers, and some that I respect a great deal, they want to talk about January 6th and General Flynn. They don't want to go anywhere to what's really going on in this world. Who cares about General Flynn and those nitwits? Seriously, get off your little soapboxes. God bless everyone. May the peace of the Lord Jesus be with you. And always remember, Jesus' second commandment is to love one another as I have loved you, as Jesus has loved you. That means to put other people ahead of you to some degree. That doesn't mean not to defend yourself or anything. That means to use love and to care more for other people. Be the Good Samaritan. God bless everyone, and take care. And that's the end of the stream, my rant. Thank you.